Oh man, oh man, oh man. We're live. Forced conversation. We're back again. Sorry I'm late. Had some technical difficulties.
We got it though.
Well, we got it. We got it. So once again, we're here with our partner in crime. My man, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, what is going on, everyone? This is Gangster KT, and thrilled to be here again with you, Gideon. A ton has changed in this game. I know we do this every 2 weeks, but feels like it's been months in game time since we talked. So a lot to catch up on today, and pumped to go through it.
Bro, could not agree more. GideonXL if you didn't know. But yeah, the game has been busy. The game has been busy. We've pretty much had our hands, I think, in everything since we spoke last. But hey, sometimes that's good, sometimes it's not. It means there's still content coming to the game. But hey, we got our guy. We got Big Adam in the house checking in.
What's going on, Adam? I got to switch over to my comments here. Yeah, last week, I mean, it was a lot of really fun things. Obviously, the trials are my favorite, but it got to the point like I just could not keep up. Like, was trying to get in more attacks at the craziest times. Like, wasn't able to do blitz rotations. Just was talking through like what's my priority right now. I'd spent so many power cores and so much gold to get a couple days ahead on DD6, so I felt like I had to keep, tried to do my best in that, finish as fast as I could, but just so much to do. But a lot of fun things.
A lot of fun. Yeah, usually I'm a huge proponent of blitz, but I don't think I got any done. I don't think I got any done, man. Like rotation here or there when I could. Like you're saying, just trying to keep up with between the trials and trying to remember what else was going on. Oh yeah, new raid. Preparing for war. I can't remember what all the events were. There were so many. Like I forgot that we were supposed to be blitzing for like 3 days. So
yeah. Might have been out of everything, the most rewards from that event. So
true. True.
It was a good week. The game is not stale right now. That's for sure. And that's a good thing.
I can agree with that. I can definitely agree with that wholeheartedly. The game is not scared still. The game is alive. There's a lot going on. In fact, if I can find it here, I think we were able to get into a couple things. I got to find the right one. So coming up, speaking of game not being stale, coming up, we're going to be getting to a little friendly competition with some of the guys. Cosmic Crucible. So I don't know how it's going to go. I'm not really a huge winner when it comes to Cosmic Crucible. Interesting question here from Adam. What do we think about the 250 to 250,000-ish? Well, that's not the right number, but getting the same score.
That is the $1 million question right there. Very glad you asked that, Adam. And Gideon, you can get us started. Curious, I think I ranted about this on one of our Discord chats already, but curious where you're at with this.
Well, I think stop sharing the screen here. I think a lot of it comes down to what was I trying to say? So I think it's what everybody's talking about. So they said it's going to be Rebirth. It's going to be New Avengers. Those are going to be your key teams. So I'm like, hey man, this is one of those times. Like my New Avengers is strong. My Rebirth was okay because so Adam knows we were doing difficulty 6 at the time for incursion race. So the Rebirth is good. So I thought that I had a shot, right? Thought it was going to be competitive. Then you get in there, and the break points are now that city villain that you didn't know nothing about. And some of the other nodes, tech was fine, but the other node was kind of a problem. So then now it has to do with teams that nobody had, right? The city villain is the best one of those are your Sinister Six characters that just got a rework, but nobody had got any juice in them yet. So now you're not being gated necessarily by the investment that you thought you had. You're being gated by this this other node that you didn't know anything about that they made hard. And so that's probably why people all land where they did, because that's what everybody's roster looked like, unless you're a big dog player.
Yeah.
Take it from there, bro.
I think you nailed it. I think you're exactly right. And City Villains isn't where I struggled, but your sentiment's correct. Like, I know they announced new Avengers, months ago, and I'd put a lot of effort into like really trying to fine tune my new Avengers and do it early, so I got that value out of them in war week after week. But to make sure I had them exactly where I wanted, and I had Ronin and Tiger both T18, I had Mockingbird T17.5. Like, I was ready to go with them, and didn't hardly use them. Like, I used them, but like the difficulty that they were used on, for node 6 and 10, like just burned through it. And that node wasn't my bottleneck at all. And in this rebirth change, like a week or two ahead of time, just really changed the need for, not the need for new Avengers. Like, you definitely still needed them to push harder levels, but it just really changed the dynamics. And I think we were faced with the decision, do we power up like year-old raid characters, the Rebirth, the Sunfire, the Gambit, the Archangel? Like, those are old characters that, like, once they aren't using raids anymore, we aren't going to be using them at all. So do we power them up just to get an extra star in this trial? And my answer was no. I tried with Rebirth, and then when I realized I hit another wall with Global Baster, I stopped. Like, I went back and just fought for efficiency in difficulty 8. And so I think, to Adam's point, I don't think it's right. Like, it was kind of fun, I guess, trying to get higher efficiency a little bit. Like that, all those players are so close in their performance that to be that big of a delta on the leaderboard, like I would have liked to see a lot more ability for people to separate themselves. If difficulty 9 was going to be that much harder to where it was almost impossible for most players, then add some more packs, like give some more chance to still have a little more separation. So I personally am not a huge fan of it, of how that ended up, but hopefully they learn and make it different for next time.
No, I could agree with that 100%. Like you said, I took, right. So took Tiger to Gear Tier 18. So I said, hey, I'm a user in Dark Dimension 6. I said, this is going to be a great opportunity. But like you said, it didn't matter. It didn't matter because they had a hard rebirth node, which I don't think people were expecting. We're just looking through here to some of the scores. Like, what did they say to go? 2,000?
My buddy.
Oh no. I don't know if I can filter that far down. Probably can't.
You have to go a long time to find my score there.
You're up there, bro. Yeah, probably don't let me go any higher than that. But even those, you're seeing the differences in many cases is less than 20 points.
Yeah.
Between players. Like, I don't even know what that means. Like,
yeah, I had after kind of coming to terms that I couldn't do difficulty 9 or 10. I went back and just started doing difficulty 8 runs. I mean, that's what was crazy. I could do them in almost half an hour. That's just so easy then compared to how 9 was. In one run, I got 300 points higher, and I think I moved up 700 points in the ranking. From a 300 point efficiency difference. So that it didn't change my stars I got on them. Like, didn't really matter, but just, it was that tight. Like, so many people all getting right around that same score.
Oh, I'm gonna see if I can find them. I know I got them here somewhere. What our scores were.
No, Adam, I know I had guys in my alliance who I think finished 2,300 that did difficulty 8 all packs. So I think and then I know another guy in the competition Gideon and I were in, finished, I think, 318 with difficulty 8 all packs. That one shown their Nemesis. So I think your 250 to 2,500 is pretty accurate. There it is. And shout out to Nemesis. He won. That was a tough score to get on difficulty 8. That's a high efficiency.
Yeah, man, I can't believe. Like, I don't know where Dorky. Let's see. I didn't watch the video. I wanted to watch it. I don't know where he himself landed. Man.
Yeah, I don't either. Well out of my range.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch the video, but I'll check it out later tonight. But yeah, man, I mean, woo, that must. Well, every time I looked up, man, the score was going up. The score was going up every time I checked. Like you
Yeah, and
guys, I
he
mean, you did really well, bro. You did really well. You're standing on his doorstep.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm disappointed. I'd done a lot better the last two trials, so I had high expectations for myself and just hit a wall on this one. But the key for Nemesis there, he had T18 Captain America and T18 Peggy, and like that was just a complete game changer for being able to try difficulty 9 or 10, but just doing 8 more efficiently and quicker. And then he also had T18 Archangel and T18 Gambit, again, the two most important characters for the global blaster. So he had that power in the right place, and that's how he did that.
Thank you for the info, Mr. Steven.
540.
Yeah, man. I was jealous of that. And obviously I'm not gonna have it. So I don't know if was he a ringer brought in by a Zero Cool because he was mad? was he KG mad at the last results? So he brought the ringer in. Man, that dude
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah, he did well. And I know in Crucible he was sending screenshots on there where he's ranked like right around Dorky Dad and even Beta Ray Bill and around 150. So he's I think got a different roster than we do.
For sure. For sure. I think I have a picture of, we all know what the top 3 looks like. But I think I got a picture of it. So there we go. Top 3 overall. So F Dog did share because I asked him, hey man, what does it take to even get that? So he said he was able to do difficulty 10 with everything on except for the health boosts. And was willing to try, but kind of like all of us, he probably got tired of playing. And so then that's probably the difference between the other two guys, Platypus Messiah and Uncle Dynamite, is those doing it with the health boost. So it's possible for some people to get it done on difficulty 10 with everything going on, but that's a top roster to make that happen. Very impressive.
Yeah. And just seemed more than the past trials, and I think it's reflected in Mr. Stevens' comment there with Dorky's ranking. Like Dorky's such a specialist in strategy, right? Like he will just play those things over and over and find the perfect way to play it, and then he'll do it over and over until it happens that way. But this one seemed more than ever to really be kind of the Kraken's trial. Like you couldn't just outsmart these nodes. You couldn't like figure out that key counter. It was about having certain tunes huge. And again, they were mostly year-old raid tunes. So I just didn't have that interest in taking them that big.
No, like you said, you can't. Like I mean, I don't have, you know how it is. You don't have the resources to you got to focus on what's coming up next, right? So they're dropping all you said you need a Sinister 6, and then you need the Superior 6. That's 10 something people.
Yeah.
You don't have the resources to start going backwards to bring up dudes that they're not going to help you.
Agreed.
And I guess that's the difference between the big dogs and the regular cats. Like I don't even know if they invested in them more. They probably already had them,
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. They probably already had them.
But. And Gideon, I feel it was a waste now, but I put probably 15 million gold and I took 2 rebirth to Blue ISO 5. I didn't have bio T18 gear, so I couldn't T18 captain. And that was almost mandatory to be able to do difficulty 10, which I really wanted to try and do. And so I put all those investments, everything I could in them to try and get there, never could. But it did let me beat difficulty 9. And then I hit Global Blaster, and it was the same thing. I was going to have to spend like another 15 million on old characters again. And I called it. I said, no, thank you. I already wasted enough on Rebirth. So it was still fun. I love the trials overall, but it with that last minute Rebirth change and then the way these nodes played out, like you explained at the start, just felt different. Wasn't my favorite.
No, my bad.
No, go ahead.
It was super weird. Like the Rebirth announcement, everybody thought, hey, like this is going to be good. It's going to be good. And there's a lot of people that didn't put any power into the new Avengers. They said, "Oh, I'm just going to use Rebirth," and that's probably fine for an unlock for sure. It's probably fine for an unlock, but trying to be competitive with it, yeah, that like you said, I was disappointed. I thought I was going to be able to do a lot better. I got through difficulty 8 with like the minimal. Tried to crank it up to try to catch up to what you guys were doing. And one time on that second node, I got down to like 4 enemies. And so I thought I had it in the bag. I ended up losing, and I was never able to repeat that. So it just, like you said, it just kind of slipped away. I figured it was possible because you guys were doing it, but I just couldn't get it to line up for me. And but at that point, we're out of, you're out of your skill range, right? You're just rolling the dice, hoping for something to land.
It almost becomes luck, just in how things fall. And the more powerful you are, the higher that luck is. It maybe takes 1 out of 5 times instead of 1 out of 100 times for something to happen right. So.
So Adam, how do you feel about that, man? Like, do you enjoy? I know your opinion on the old school versus the new school. I know it kind of wavers. I think you like the old style better. But you got the 5-star. Are you okay with that? You think that that's how it should have went down? Were you expecting to be able to do better, worse, or this is par for the course? I'm curious as to your opinion on that, if I'm making sense.
Yeah, and interesting saying there that's the same as the old system where it was just, hey, have these 5 characters at this many stars, then that's the star you could get on the legendary. So it's probably good that there's similarity there. Like it's not a big change with the new trials versus the old system.
That I can agree with. I was even able to, like I said, I was able to get him on the baby account. So I had to power up a couple Sinister 6 guys, but I prefer the old way.
That's accurate.
I can, yeah. There's truth there.
It's so funny. I'm the same way with a lot of parts of this game, but it's like, what other video games and you like, how little time can I play this? Like any PlayStation game, I'm never like, what's the least amount I can play this game and still get what I need? But I'm that way with MSF, even though it's my favorite game.
It takes a lot of time.
Yes, it does.
But no, we were able to get the unlock on the baby account, which is cool. It was
Congrats, man. Yeah.
somewhere in the bottom percentage there, but so it shows that it's possible for people to do. That's the only reason why we're testing that. It's possible for people to do, and the team's good. They'll be able to work with the team now and get some stuff done. But again, if people like at that level, well, no, I guess it doesn't make any difference. You still would have been able to do like difficulty 5 with either team. The other teams, they just shredded too. Like it could have been on auto. So like everybody else at that level, they just annihilated it. I just needed to get the city villains up, and it took that was actually strategic, but every other node, they just stepped on it.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. And Goblin himself helped so much on those city villain nodes if you could unlock him first. But I know down at those levels, you're just trying to unlock them. You aren't doing a run to unlock them first. So, but glad you got him. That'll help your account. He's at the end of the day, he's amazing. There's no question.
No, he's good. He's good. So Adam says, how many PlayStation, Xbox games you played for 5 years?
That's exactly right. None.
Yeah. Yeah.
I played World of Warcraft for maybe 7 years back in the day, but Marvel Strike Force is definitely my favorite game. Like it's what I played the most, no question.
We played Monster Hunter. I think that only went for about a year. My kids played Destiny, so they played the first and the second one of those. That's 2 different games though.
Yeah,
that maybe went to the 5-year mark. I couldn't keep up though, man. Like I would play. It would be so weird. Like maybe you guys experience this. I would play by myself, and I was, you could tell you're getting better. And then I would play a game with them and get involved like in their matchmaking, and like I couldn't even move. Like I'm just getting dotted. Like I'm nowhere near fast enough. But
Oh yeah, kids are amazing at video games. There's no question.
for sure, they got a little more free time usually to get good. Oh, anything else you wanted to share as far as the Goblin Trials? Well, maybe I don't know.
Think we covered it again. Want to give a shout out to Nemesis though. There was 6 of us in there, and I know I didn't even care about the star as much as just trying to beat that score at the end of it, and I could not. So kudos to him. Well deserved.
100%. It did make it fun. It did make it fun. And he had a monster score. So we're gonna be doing this some more. So I plan on bringing up the rear a little bit, but it'll be interesting. It is interesting to have a person like that kind of in closer company that you could talk to a little bit and get their mindset and what they're working with, and so that you can see, right, is this even capable
Yep,
for me to
exactly.
do? It's not huge. He's not at the top of the list, but he's definitely a step or two above. Not that far away. I mean, you did very well, man. You did very well.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. It was fun. It's probably my favorite game mode. It is a lot of work, but I really enjoy it.
Man, maybe we could talk a little bit about the new incursion raid. So I don't know how it's been going for you. I think right now we're trying um, difficulty 1, I think, because I was doing okay. And then like yesterday, I wasn't doing okay. So the jump up is good. I made it. I shouldn't say we. I made it to, I think, the bio section, and kind of like what you're alluding to, hard stop. Like the enemies go. I got 2 people left, which aren't going to do anything. Load
Wow.
in the second team. Enemies go again. Leave me with two guys, and that's it.
Was
So
that on normal as well, or just on difficulty 1?
I believe it was all on difficulty 1. I think on normal we got oh man, the boss is calling for a move. Yes, we're on difficulty 1. We're going to next week.
I think he's saying pick it up there.
Yeah, stop being a baby.
Build
Let's
your
go.
revert.
I wasn't paying attention, so I think it was the I think I got farther. I have to look at the map. Does mutants come after bio?
No, I think mutants are the second one.
Mutants are the second one. Let's take a quick peek, see if I can see what's happening. I made it. I feel like I at least made it to the boss in the bio section. I'm trying to think. Maybe I'm mistaken. But I just happened to notice, yeah, that was like a hard stop. Like I didn't even get to take a turn.
Yeah, it goes Mystic, Tech. Sorry, yeah, Mystic, Tech, Mutant. So Mutant's third. Mystic, Tech, Mutant, Bio, and Skill.
So I have to think. I don't know if maybe I haven't ever seen the skill. But I just noticed that at least difficulty 1 on the bio, like I didn't, like I said, 2 teams and didn't even get to take a turn. And I don't believe that was the case first time, but is what it is.
Okay, yeah, I mean something to work on, I guess. New raids are fun. It's not autoing them. I was autoing the old raids at this point, so it's been fun having something new to play. It's interesting seeing the characters in here. There's quite a difference in what type of characters are in this raid, so it'll be challenging.
Have
But
you been okay?
I was going to say, we started normal today. We'd gone back for a few new members and did some 100% on some of the old ones before switching, just so they could get those first time rewards. But started it today. I didn't get to do the Mystic section. It was already cleared on my lanes. But the other 3, I haven't had trouble with at all in normal. I've only done the first bio node. That's kind of where I stopped. I did it with Rebirth, but that node was easy. I was able to finish with full health and all my cooldowns, but it's just on normal. So I'm guessing I'll have a surprise waiting for me here soon. Yeah. Rhino was interesting. And That the mutants, what our alliance has been talking about the most. I know right now people are saying to use Apocalypse instead of Magneto for that reason exactly, because Magneto's pretty worthless with none of those blinds stick. And I've heard people are using Emma in the first two, or I think the second and third node, but I really don't know why or like know how that works yet. I haven't been there.
Yeah, I haven't tried it. That's what I was getting ready to ask you. Have you guys been using some hybrids? Like I felt like I was okay. Like I'm trying to remember. Like I felt like I was okay um in the mutant section, and maybe it's because like I didn't open, because I think there's some pre-taunters or something like that, right? Like you get or taunts pretty early. So I think maybe I didn't open with Magneto's ultimate. I was trying to get the taunts under control because, like you said, there's some crazy characters in there, and I'm not trying to get stuck behind the taunt. But I'll have to keep an eye out for that. I know, like Adam said, they've been talking about a little bit in the Discord about what the best teams are and why. But I think that's cool.
It
Like
is.
it's I want to say it's not that we don't want raid teams, but when you're able to put in different pieces on your roster for different outcomes, like you said, it's not just hit auto or whatever. You actually have to play. There's some strategy involved. You can get control in the node. You just can't brute force it, but you can get control of it and make progress. I like that. That's good, in my opinion.
It's funny, Gideon. I agree. I like it for usually a month or two, and then it kind of comes back to Adam's comment with the trial. Like at that point, once I've done it and I know that strategy, I just want to be able to get through it as fast as I can. And I think, one example, the first skill node on the incursion 1 raid, I still could never auto that. I could. It was maybe about 50-50, but just with the way that node was, even though my team was plenty big, you had to take control of that nemesis at the start of it, or he could really ruin that day. And so I'd still manually play that one node and then go back to autoing everything else. So I'm loving it right now, but I hope I'll be able to auto it in a couple months once it's routine.
So on a side note, Tawna, I think it is. Tawna had a video talking about progression, some type of other. He's doing his data mines. You know how he does. Some type of more progression system. So maybe that's a thing. Like maybe there's a new, I don't know what they count as a progression system. So if we're talking about like gear tier or something like that, obviously I don't know anything, but maybe the top end of those raids need whatever's coming next. Maybe it's just another shot of new characters. I don't know. I'm just talking, pretend like I know.
Yeah. I mean, we had diamonds. That was a pretty big new system recently. Kind of an extension of Red Star, but still a new progression system. But there's got to be a level or a gear tier change not too far away. I think it's been a little while since we've had those.
So you think that would be enough? Like if there was, so if they increase the diamonds, the way the diamonds are, they already increased, put them back to their what they wanted to do originally for their power, but we only got 3. Obviously, there's going to be more. So if there was a new gear tier, new level, maybe that's enough. Maybe that's enough to start punching through. If there's a new gear tier on top of a level 100 or whatever, maybe that's enough to start mashing through.
Yeah.
I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, it always would help when it's overwhelming. It makes the raids easier, but like I still have plenty of guys I'd love to take up to 95, like thinking we might have a new tier. I just don't feel ready at all, but I never do. Like whenever it happens, I never feel like I'm ready. So you just kind of roll with it and reprioritize and figure it out.
100%. 100%. I just wanted to show this. Hopefully I can. It was on the Players Voice Discord. Beta Ray Bill had it. And somebody asked a question in the server. They were like, hey, we're doing incursion difficulty 2 and we're losing ranking in the raids. He figured that he would be gaining, like they're not like a super big dog alliance, but they pride themselves on their raid team. So they thought that this was an opportunity to jump ahead and they were starting to slip back. So there was a question about, first people want to know, is it bugged? Is something wrong? And then Beta Ray Bill put this table out, and it's a lot of numbers. It's a lot of numbers, but essentially what it's showing is, so if we look at difficulty, where incursion is the pink one. So if we look at incursion, difficulty 1, or the normal is 95 million points. The blue one over there is incursion raid 1. Difficulty 4 is 96 million. So 96 million on incursion 1, 95 million based on incursion 2. So it looks like until you get past the normal difficulty of the new raid, people are scoring more points on the old raid, if I'm making sense, if I'm not being confusing.
Yeah. If they're full clearing it, yeah.
So it looks like that is a thing. Just in case anybody was wondering about that. I didn't know. Like I said, there was a discussion going on the Player's Voice. I was just trying to follow it back and forth, and this is the information that they had calculated. So I don't know if it's something that's going to change, or it kind of is what it is. It seems really weird. In the past, they've usually been able to change it, but I don't know what they would dial it up to, what the numbers would be if they adjusted it. But it looks like that's a thing.
And I'll say, and maybe this is short-sighted, because we just aren't this competitive in raids. But if you look at those between those two you mentioned, that's like a 1% difference, 1 million compared to 95 million. So I would assume it's pretty negligible. And what'd be more important is the other rewards that you get from incursion 2. Only like the top, I think, 10 alliances are really pushing that like score competition, and they're probably all doing difficulty 3 incursion 2 by this point. So this is really interesting. Not sure if it's a mistake or intentional, but it's probably not big enough to really like change plans to try and get higher raid season points, I'd guess.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna go keep. I'm assuming we're gonna keep going, like, because you get those, it'll take a minute, but you get those awakened abilities too, and you don't get those on the old one. You only get those on the new one.
Yeah, that's a good point, Gideon. It's really interesting because those are, I mean, for this new raid, those are the big shiny reward, right? Like that's the new thing, and it's the only place you can get them. And just how important all those. I remember when Nova first had them, they talked about like, oh, we aren't going to make these that big of a deal. Really, it's just to help and make the war mirror match faster. Like that's all they did, but now they're the reward for the newest raid. And so I'm curious if those awakened abilities are going to be getting a lot more powerful.
Got something covering my screen. I can't get to this next one. He adjusted it to 1.5. Mr. Steven said if you can do 1.5, you should be able to do 2.1. Steve, I don't know, man. We were just saying my rebirth is getting annihilated when we get to the bio section in difficulty 1 of the new incursion raid. But I don't know where you're at, bro. If you know, or yeah, if you can share with us where you're at and how your alliance is doing, I'm definitely curious to hear about that, because everybody's having different experiences with the raid.
And the answer there, I haven't tested this yet, but with what you're saying, Gideon, maybe scroll. Maybe people that have scroll to throw into that bio team are getting past those a lot easier because he's just that good.
I didn't think about that. Did not think about that because I don't have him. But
Yep.
Is he? I got to think about the kit. So if the opponents have positive and negative effects, he goes faster, or it's just one or the other.
It's positive effects on the opponent or negative effects on you. So if it's like anything that's a negative to your team, whether that helps them or hurts you, then he gets speed. Plus, he's just so powerful, and like everything, his ability block, his rewinds, like he's the bomb, no question.
I'm jealous. Working my way there.
You'll be there. You'll be there sooner than you know it.
Oh man, Steven says 60% in difficulty 1. All right. Where is that, bro? Is that, I don't know. Is that the bio?
That'd be right up to the bio then.
Right up to the bio. Doing good, man. Doing good. Anything else on the incursion topic?
No, I think more to be determined right now. It's a lot of fun. And again, it came out when there was a ton going on, so I really didn't maybe prepare for it or kind of study it as much as I would, but anxious to get more into it here soon.
Agreed. I was in the same boat. I didn't. It's probably live for a week before I don't even know if I watched the video. Like Dorky had one. It was like an hour and a half. I was like, I don't think I got an hour and a half. So we just tried it. But yeah, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it.
Good.
New Alliance War. That is it's a thing, man. It is a thing. I haven't played. So what changed? We got Rebirth changed. They're now the team that spawns with Safeguard and whatnot. And then there's Sinister Six, I think, call outs. I'm not 100% sure of all the new rules, but I don't know if you played against any of that Rebirth, man. But it's the truth. Like right now, we're playing against cats with like 2 million
Oof.
rebirths. I haven't been able to beat one yet. But yeah, it's it's a thing.
Yeah. And I have it. I know I was telling you before, I have not fought one yet. I'll hope to change that here shortly as we have a war wrapping up tonight. And try and get one down to learn. But I know a guy in our alliance was talking about Weapon X Dormammu worked really well for him for a punch up. I'll tell you, it's not a huge deal. Not trying to be negative, but this just random. Oh, this old Rebirth team's going to be amazing out of the blue all of a sudden. Like, I don't really like that. When they did it with Black Order, I think Black Order was kind of special and maybe deserving of that. But like, it's just like, what old team are they going to pull, next that's going to be important? So it stinks because it's so important right now, but then in 2 months, it's just completely worthless. So it's like, do you really use your resources there? But I need to learn it. At this point, it's important. Those do go away if you sack. So with the exhausted mechanic, they don't get, not only does it hurt them, but they also lose all those special bonuses too. So I think it's a fairly easy sack and beat still. But yeah, it's tough and it's interesting.
I guess I didn't appreciate that. That's that if you hit them. So just if you hit them at all, like if they have exhausted and the stuff doesn't come back, like even if they didn't lose any health, like
Yeah,
just keeps healing everybody.
Pretty sure, Gideon. Before I swore to it, I'd want to go double check and read it again, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. And once they get exhausted, that safeguard and all those extra buffs that they get at the start don't apply anymore. I think they still get the like the 50% stat bonus, but not positive.
All right. So Adam just bringing out bosses calling me. Need to be hitting bridge, but I told him, man. I told him we got this going on. Oh, my war record is not the greatest. Like I need to be better. I need to get better at just war strategy. Like I drop some attacks, and some of it is like you're saying. Like I don't like my Weapon X could be so useful. They're about 800,000, but I would have to go back and build them. And right now I'm trying to chase Scroll. So any resources I have, I'm just putting into those individuals. And probably by the time I get him, I won't say it'll be time for the next race, but there'll just be, there'll be a short window.
Yeah.
I'll probably have a team or two that I can build up before whatever the next big thing happens. But that's how it works for me.
Yeah. And I think that you're doing it the right way. Like in this game, you don't look back. Weapon X has had crazy sustainability over time just because of how much speed they get and how crazy Omega Red is. But I took him to DD6, so I did, kind of bring him up to 95 T18 for that. But prior to that, I hadn't touched him in a while, even though he was still one of the best characters. So I think you have to keep looking forward. You just don't have the resources to go build the old tunes, even though they're still useful, but they'll probably be useful for the least amount of time. That's usually a safe assumption. So But I'll be honest, Gideon. Something I'm struggling in the game with right now. I always prided myself on like being awesome at war. Like I'm a war captain. I love making videos about it. I should not admit this as a content creator. I'm struggling in war right now. Like I don't know what it is, but I go to the rooms and I just see like 4 teams I don't want to attack, and, and then hey, where's that unlimited? I can take out pretty easily. I have 4 teams that can beat that, but I have huge nowhere. I have huge gamma. Like I have all the right teams and I have them built, but I got to recalibrate in war. I'm struggling there right now. I need to get that fixed.
I think don't feel bad, man. I think it's everybody. Like I was watching, I won't say anybody's names, but I was watching some war videos the other day, and I'm like, okay, there's a Pegasus. Like, who's gonna hit it? And 2 out of 3 people that I was watching didn't hit it. And the guy that I did, I don't think he won. But it's so I think that's some of it too. Like you're saying, there was so much happening in the game right now. Some of these teams, I don't want to say they snuck up on us, but like, I mean, Pegasus, people have big Pegasus.
Yeah.
And we're just under the assumption because of what everybody said, for example, oh, they're slow until they go. And then when one of them goes, they all go like twice. So
Yep.
you can't beat them with your opening salvo, like you're gonna lose. And obviously there's a counter of some sort, but I don't know if I've seen one yet that's reliable, or do I have enough power? If it's not going to be a mirror, do I have enough power to go up and get it, or am I just deciding that's going to be a 2-tap? And that's so that's what other teams came out. You got Sinister Six obviously showing up. We don't know how to fight that yet.
Yep.
But
and they'll be great, no question. In all game modes, they're an amazing team. But yeah, and then I'm guessing you guys are the same. I know you're a little higher in war, but just seeing a ton of like apocalypse and scroll hybrids, right? Whether it's with secret defenders or whether it's with new Avengers, and I'm starting to learn some of those counters. And I think more than previous seasons, we may have to do more 2-taps right now on things. But I got to get it calibrated. I'm off right now, and I want to get better at it again because it's a lot of fun when you know all the counters and know what to do.
true. But again, some of it, that's probably what makes it fun too. It did change, so that means it changed for everybody.
Yeah.
Like I think I have my apocalypse on defense with new Avengers. I need to pay more attention because I think they just get I think they get beat. Oh, Pathfinder. Pathfinder showed one the other day. I think it was Gamma, and maybe this is something you knew. I didn't know that. It was Gamma and like a random person against Scroll Secret Defenders, maybe.
Scroll New Avengers, I think, and he used anti-venom, which I did see that video. I never would have guessed that in my life. And that's the stuff you have to know right now to like really know war. But I remember that, yeah.
Well, that was cool. That was cool. Because I messaged him. Because like, hey man, like my antivenom's gonna be on be on defense, man. Is there another? We'll see what he says. Is there another 5th that you came up with that I could put in there? But it was refreshing to see that because I think he one-shot it. So
Yeah.
at least I feel more comfortable taking that match. I'm still gonna lose probably, and the boss is gonna yell at me, but
And I think I don't remember. I think it was something about this doesn't sound right, but the anti-venom like prevented the opponent from getting safeguard somehow. But I'd have to read his kid. That's probably wrong, but it was something wild again. Just that I wouldn't think of. It wasn't about necessarily like synergies with Red Hawk or with Braun with those guys. It was more about keeping something off the enemy, which is really creative.
I think it had something to do. Like you got the scroll. I don't know. I think it had something to do with the scroll. Like he didn't. I don't know if maybe he doesn't spawn with something.
Maybe
You just need a character. He said that doesn't pop up with. You said positive effects. Like if you
yeah,
have
that would
positive
give
effects,
Scroll more speed. Yep.
it gives scroll more speed. So he must not. I think that was the thing. Is you need somebody that doesn't spawn with
Okay.
positive effects, and maybe for some reason replacing Abomination. Did he replace Abomination?
I'd have to watch it again. I don't remember. But
Somehow he
those,
was able to stay ahead with the speed.
yeah. And I think that's such a perfect example, but there's a lot more theory crafting needed in war right now. It's a lot less cookie cutter than before, which overall is great. Again, once I get up to speed, I love it.
Oh, agreed. Man, any more about war? I don't know if I even had any war pictures. I probably don't. Oh, what do you think about what Scopely said as far as like character availability? Not to put you on the spot, we can throw it back to me if you want, but they said they were going to be making stuff more farmable. Do you have any thoughts? Do you think that it's happening? Is it happening too fast, too slow?
No, I think so far, it is happening. I think we're seeing a lot of signs they're living up to their word there. And if it's going to happen to me, it can't happen fast enough. I mean, it costs 500,000 gold to take a guy to 7 stars, but that's the best 500,000 gold you can spend. So if I'm spending all my gold taking guys to higher stars, then I'm doing well in the game. So yeah, I think it's great, and I think with the diamonds, this is just so important because the diamonds, especially since they buffed them, that's the spender's separation lever right now. Like that's how they can get ahead. And we talked about this a few weeks ago, but if you're compounding that with then stars on top of that, that delta is just going to be huge. But if they have a 2 diamond and you have a 7 yellow, 7 red, you can probably still punch up on that or like overcome that delta. So I think with the diamond introduction, it's important that these characters are a lot more farmable. And so far, with these calendars, with how they're putting them into the event rewards, they do seem to be living up to that.
So that I can agree with for sure. Like that November, I'll see if I can find it. That November calendar, man. Like
It started as an October one, right? In the middle of November.
yeah,
Good old Scopely.
for sure. Like it's just 2 Novembers.
I wish I could screw up this much in my job and still make a lot of money.
Oh my word. Yeah, man, I cannot. My job, I go to jail.
Be a bad day, yeah.
No, but like yeah, so this is the second November calendar. Just the amount of shards. So if you were just coming into the game, like if you just started the game, they're basically giving you, I didn't check and see if that's all. It's not all the members of Rebirth, but you got 3 up there, and you can farm Cap, you can farm Winter Soldier pretty easy. So you'd come in with a team right away, and then they're catching you up on the invaders
Yeah.
pretty quick. Like I don't think we've ever seen that many shards in a calendar. We used to freak out if we got 50, man. Like that's
a lot.
a lot. And to your point, like it's not bad. Like I'm not complaining, but it's like it's kind of hard to keep up with. I have to check my roster every day, that one filter by star rank or whatever to see did I get somebody, because they stuff pops up like you said in all the different events. You got stuff you can farm. You can farm Kang. I didn't think that was going to be a thing. You can farm Kang.
Yeah, that shocked me.
100%. So I just got to try to stay. We'll get used to it, but stay up on my roster to see, do I have anybody that I should be bringing up star wise? Because I might have missed them.
Yeah, and in the way, and I'm having to change this a little bit, but for probably the past 2 or 3 years, I've always kind of been ahead on resources. Just that same mentality we were talking about, like never going back, just always focusing ahead. And so most of my guys are basically at the level in the gear tier I want them, and then like as soon as they come out, and then at that point, it's just a matter of getting stars. So for me, this has been great because like I have the guys at the level and gear tier. Now these stars are filling in to really get them where they need to be. So
You can feel those bumps too. Like they seem
oh
to have
yeah,
the characters dialed in a lot better. That when you get a star or you get a gear tier level, like you can feel it.
yep.
So Adam said availability is much better, but it's a double-edged sword because of the calendars and the gifts. They're just ultimate shards now.
I think that's accurate. And Gideon, here's my one lookout with this, what I'm worried about. And we'll see. Again, they've been great about it so far. But with this change in farmability, I'm not buying new characters anymore. I always thought buying one new character offer was pretty much the best thing you could buy in the game. I think now that's the battle pass without nothing's even close to the value of the battle pass. But so because characters should be much more available, it's like, why spend that $50? And so, but I think that that's always been one of their biggest money makers. So if a lot of people take that same attitude that I do, they're going to say, how can we figure out how to sell new characters again? And what they're going to start doing, we've seen a little bit of it, but they're going to start having events that say, if you have a 5-star Craven right out of the gate, then you get these huge rewards. And so I think that this is going to bite them a little bit. It's a good thing. I think people are excited about the farmability, but if they start losing revenue off those new character offers, they're going to find a way to still make you like want to get the characters bigger at the start. So we'll see. But so far, they're living up to their word. That's a good sign.
That's an interesting take, man. I hadn't really thought about that. Like, I will say, I don't know, like this month's battle pass looks like they walked it back a little bit, man. Like I was super excited.
Yeah.
I was super excited about the last one, last one. I said, hey man, I think we were talking about that. I might do this. I usually allow my spells $5 a week on the game. So that's $20 a month. So hey, maybe I'll just buy the battle pass, $20 a month. But I don't know if I'm gonna buy the next one, man.
Yeah, I think it's still the best thing you could usually buy in the game right now. But when they back it off, it doesn't feel as good. There's no question.
So Adam, we were planning on talking about this a little bit, but like I'm just being honest. I don't understand the event. Like there's 3 events going that somehow all give you Craven, but somehow I still don't have a Craven. Like I got him on the baby account. I don't understand why I have him, but I don't have him on the main account, which I mean, we're able to be a lot more active in war on my main account, right? I can't do more than 10 attacks in war on the baby because I just don't have enough blitz credits to keep buying refreshes. I have to use the blitz credits for the characters, which goes back to character farmability. But yeah, I don't even know what's going on, man. I'm just rambling right now. Like I don't understand why I have him on one account and not the other, and I'm doing less on the other one.
Yeah, I think Adam's right. I know we have a couple guys in our lines free to play who have unlocked them now, and I'm sitting here. I think I just got the 25 shards out of one of the milestones, which is the only shards I remember seeing in any milestone or event. So I'm a couple shards away now, but Gideon, I think you get them all just from your daily arena reward. You get, depending on where you finish, like between 2 and 4 of those orbs a day, and then you get to open them in those orbs, which is a lot of RNG. But there may be a couple other shards throughout the events, but I think it's really just, once a day you get that daily arena reward. You open those orbs, and that's how many of the shards you get that day.
That's what's up, I guess. Like, man, it seemed, I don't know. Like people, you watch the videos and everybody's like, no, guaranteed 4-star, but like I haven't even unlocked them yet, so we'll see what happens. But again, it did kind of remind me of character. Oh, go ahead. I'll cut you off.
Well, no, I've had decent luck overall, but there was one day I think in 4 orbs I got 4 shards of them. Like never got them in the middle one, and I think you always get at least 1 in that left orb. So if you just get horrible luck, I don't know how that's guaranteed anything outside of like 20 shards or something. But again, I haven't had that bad. Like I've done better than that. But and go ahead with what you were saying.
So look like we might have a guest in the green room. So my guy, you have to unmute yourself, and we can bring you in. I can't unmute you, but the character farmability thing, that's like that was one of the things that's I'm noticing, at least on my smaller account, is I'm running out of resources. Like I don't have resources to buy the characters. If I'm making sense, because they don't have, or that the young account doesn't have 100, 500,000 of whatever this currency is that we've all been saving up for 5-6 years. So I'm running out of that. I definitely don't have the arena tokens for sure. So those characters are every other day kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that is, I don't want to say it's concerning. It's just a different perspective. You just got to be selective, work on, one or two characters at a time, just like anything else. But
Yeah, and that makes sense. I know you've mentioned, I think some of the blue gear pieces you're having to like grind, and should be well past that. But it's choices at least. I mean, if the other option is you can only get them as quickly as you can keep up, and I think it's nice to have choices and see where you want to focus and where you put your resources. What's going on, Patrick?
what's up, Patrick? Thanks for jumping in, man. Thanks for jumping on the show. Yeah, I would agree with that. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. The blue thing keeps happening. Like, that's getting a little frustrating. That I get a character, so I got, like I said, got Green Goblin, and I can bring him up to level 5, and it stops. Right?
That's horrible. That's
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah. So then you go, and I don't know if, like, I guess I should ask somebody. So it's good to be able to get the things out of the store in groups of like 20 and whatnot. That's good. But it seems like when I hit the nodes, it seems like this the old drops. It's just like 2 and 2 and 2. So I do all of them, and it won't be enough, like I said, to get the guy up. So it's like 2 or 3 days of just in the blue section. And then once we get out of the blue section, I can bring him the rest of the way up.
Yeah,
It's weird.
it is weird. I think one of the smartest things Scopely did in this game was when they came out with the blue ISO nodes. And I think it's something they added after a while. They didn't do this at first, but how they made green ISO part of what you get when you farm the blue ISO nodes. And that should really become a pattern. Like if you're farming teal gear, I feel like you should get the gold gear, the blue gear, the purple gear, like as you're farming that node, so you never have to go back and just farm blue gear. Like who wants to do that at level 95? That's silly. So they did a good job on that with ISO. I think they should go back and kind of correct that across the board.
I have to bring it up. I know I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Oh man. That might be all our topics. Is there anything else you really wanted to consider today?
No, this was fun. A lot to talk about again. Right now, like I think part of it, I've been so focused on scroll and did finally get my big boy scroll a couple nights ago, so that was good. But I can kind of start putting more into war again and relearning it. But I just feel I don't want to say lost. I think I'm doing the right things, but I'm struggling to feel like I'm an expert in this game right now. So excited to get back into it, and it's a fun time in the game overall.
Agreed. I'm also having fun. Like I said, life was busy. A lot of stuff happened in the game, which was okay.
Yeah.
But it'll be, like I said, I'm still on the hunt for scroll. So all my extra resources are just going towards that. And I'll be looking
That's the right
forward to
thing to
time,
do.
like you're saying, when you can bend back and work on more of the stuff that you want to work on, and not necessarily stuff. It's not like they're forcing you, right? I still have some say, which is good, but it might not be the dudes that I can get the most use of in the rest of the game at this particular time.
Exactly. Yep. But appreciate
Well,
it, man. And thanks to everyone for joining us again. Always a pleasure.
100%. Thanks everybody for showing up. Much appreciated, and appreciate the comments. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. So, KT, if someone's looking for you in your information, where can they find you?
Well, they haven't been able to find me anywhere here for a couple weeks. I've kind of been MIA, being on vacation and being extremely busy at work. But actually been working on a new video this weekend finally, and excited to get back out there a little more. So you guys can find me on YouTube at Gangster KT.
Awesome. Eagerly awaited, man. Eagerly await the new video. And so if you're watching,
I'm not good enough about asking you this, Gideon, but where can they find you if they don't know?
Well, if you're looking at this right now on YouTube, then this is where you can find me on YouTube. I try to also show up on like Instagram and on Twitter, which is x.com now. It's not Twitter anymore. It's x.com. But yeah, we're just trying to keep it low key. I'm experimenting with the different social media outlets, just trying to build a tiny community about Marvel Strike Force. But it's good.
Heck
It's
yeah.
good. So hey, we appreciate everybody for coming out. Hopefully you can enjoy the rest of your day. I think I got to go rake some leaves. This might be the last day to get them.
Yep. Hanging Christmas lights. So it's a good day. Yeah, have a great weekend, everyone. Thanks again for joining us.
You guys be cool. Take care. Thanks again.